Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to part 2 of the Final Fantasy VI Let's Play. In today's part, we're heading south.
Today's part, we beat rabbits.
Yes, we're going to beat the shit out of rabbits because we don't have any food. We do need food.
By the way, these two already look like they should be partners in crime, huh? Well, guess what? That's true. In the original draft for Final Fantasy VI, Locke and Terra were supposed to be Terra was supposed to be a dude, and they were both supposed to be sort of like a partner in crime kind of buddy mechanic. It was dropped later on, but you see shades and elements of that in between Tidus and Zidane for Final Fantasies 10 and 9 respectively.
Actually, I would say this game as well.
You see shades of it in this game as well, but you only see Terra going the whole route of, ooh, I want to be a bandit.
Not necessarily with Locke and Terra.
Yeah, but you see it with other characters.
Yeah, I'll point that out when we get there too. Yeah, interesting little tidbit there. Can we just go into art style?
I love this theme.
Can we just get into art style here for a second? I got nothing against Amano. I forgot his full name.
Yoshitaka Amano.
Yoshitaka Amano. But I've always enjoyed more of the conceptual designs for Final Fantasy characters more than Amano's watercolors and water paintings.
For me, it varies.
Because to me, he always seems to draw males and females exactly the same. Like, if you were to show me, like, a side-by-side imaging of, say, Celeste from 6 and Reina from 5, I couldn't tell you who's who.
Who the hell is this thing? Barrett!
I mean, did you ever see Amano's designs for the 7 characters?
No, I haven't.
You take a look when you get the shot. It's, you know, I can at least identify those because they're so out there. But it's like, dude, it's like, you got a taste, it's just not mine.
Now, these are tools for our next party member that we're going to get. You're not going for the auto crossbow?
No.
Everybody goes for the auto crossbow.
You get auto crossbow automatically when he joins your party.
Oh. No wonder why I keep fucking that up.
So I was wondering why I was down $700.
Buyer beware.
No, that is an interesting little thing. We'll see shades of it when we get to this, when we visit the castle the second time. But when you get Edgar or Sabin in your party, when you talk to the shopkeepers, they say, I can't take money from the king. And Edgar and Sabin is like, what are you talking about? You got fucking families to feed. Just take my money and go.
Seriously, a king has to pay for his subjects.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I can offer for you after I've slept with your daughter.
Yeah. What? Nothing. So this is Figaro Castle. You say you like this theme?
Figaro.
You say you like this theme?
I love it.
I get kind of tired of it after a while because it loops too fast.
It loops too fast, but that's usually the problem with the earlier Final Fantasy soundtracks.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this one just has that. This one is good in short bursts.
Yeah.
It's regal, it hits hard, and it gets right to the point that you're in the presence of a king. Love it.
So we got a new character here. This is the King of Figaro.
He's flipping us off, you fuck.
Fuck everything. I'm the king of this place.
That would be the attitude for a king.
Yeah.
Which makes Mufasa be seem more of a jerk.
This is Edgar. Edgar specializes in machinery. Like, he's a real gadgeteer genius.
He's an engineer.
Yes, he's an engineer.
An engineer with a crossbow.
And many other tools, as we'll get down later. I love Edgar.
Edgar's a great character. Edgar's a funny little character.
I will say, though, for the sake of a challenge and how this game begins, a little too powerful this early in the game.
Well, you're going to kind of need the additional power.
I disagree, because a lot of the formations we fight from here until, hell, I would say we get to the Returners hideout later down the road is nothing, really.
One-shotted by the auto crossbow.
Yeah, and, you know, Edgar, I mean, I guess if you want to make sure newbies are as comfortable as they possibly can for the first hour and a half of gameplay, depends on how fast you play the game, of course. It's just when you go back to it, it's like you realize, like, wow, it's like this is, I'm not even breaking a sweat.
Right.
Now, for some,
that was my strategy. Defend with the other two in the back row, and Edgar shoots away with the auto crossbow.
Well, Edgar should be in the back row as well.
Yeah.
Because his tools are long-range weapons. For some people, the fact that things are too easy. I love this little thing right here. Shirley's talk to you. Ellipses.
Edgar Figaro, the blue bald king.
Yeah, he's a shameless.
He's a leech.
He's a shameless flirt.
He's a lech.
Yeah. For some, I'm gonna get back to the topic at hand here. For some, the fact that you don't see me breaking a sweat could be the case for the entire game with Final Fantasy VI for really hardcore RPG players. Because, and I'll say it right now,
6 is a breeze.
6 is one of the easiest Final Fantasy games. And by that I mean it's very easy to break.
Right.
If you want to go and for this playthrough, I'm actually doing that. I'm not grinding at all for this playthrough. I am gunning it. I'm going from point A to point B, no breaks in between, because if I grind for just 10 minutes, I've already broken the game. So I'm going to be doing a lot of low-level stuff here. I think it makes it more interesting, honestly. Because anybody can auto-crossbow 30 times in the battle and not have to worry about anything else. You can aura boat this guy 5 times, suplex that, pummel this. But I like to keep it a little more interesting when your levels are low and there's always that risk of death. And not 5 minutes after we introduced to Edgar, we are introduced to his brother, his younger brother.
Sabin.
But you wouldn't know looking at the sprite.
No, you can totally tell just from the hair color alone.
Same hair color.
Hair color and the forehead.
Yeah, they're twins.
Thing is, though, is Sabin is, well, I'm better off talking about him when he comes here. Meanwhile, we just figured out that there's some sort of background family conflict here between the two brothers.
Yeah.
And that there's more to Edgar than that's all besides his pervertedness.
Let's just say that Edgar's kingship wasn't given to him by rite of passage. It was forced on him.
Well, that's usually how it goes with families of dynasty. As soon as the older one falls ill, the next in line, you're up.
Yeah.
Actually, the same could also be said of organized crimes. I'm not kidding. In organized crime families, if you take out the head, the next up in line is put in charge.
Yeah. That's the Chancellor. He only appears after that cutscene with Sabin.
By the way, I got a kick out of that dude. He's like, the Empire's using something called magic. And you just get this idea of somebody going, hocus pocus. Uh-oh.
Someone's here to see us. Is that the pizza guy? Finally.
Here he is. One of the stars of the game.
This scene was added after the conceptual stages.
It was.
Because they wanted to establish that Kefka was unhinged.
Right. Not to mention the fact that he's got a few screws loose. Plus, it would have made him seem like a generic, boring general.
Exactly.
It does a lot to set him apart, too.
It really does. Because look, they're traveling through the desert. You get sand in his boots, so he wants it out. And the iconic laugh.
I don't like how his face looks after it's done, though. I can't even replicate it.
No, I can't. I wouldn't even attempt. That's a bitching-ass regal coat he's wearing. Like, it's all green in his overworld sprite.
It is, and I kind of like I kind of like that it looks like a coat that he's like supposed to be wearing.
Yeah. Because
when you look at what he looks like in the conceptual phases, it looks like he fell into a goddamn scarf bucket.
I was at the paint factory today. You're at the paint factory every day, Kefka.
Is there any reason the person sent to meet me looks like a clown?
No, not necessarily. But Kefka, along with 2 Imperial soldiers, we never get names for those.
Figaro and the Empire are allies. Uh-oh.
Oh, okay. We don't have anything to worry about. Yeah, we do.
That guy's missing a few buttons. Yeah, his shirt was undone.
What a slob.
Tell me about it. Did he fall into a scarf bucket or something?
I thought we burned all those down. Obviously, Kefka and the Empire are looking for Terra after the incident in Narshe. But Kefka did a really miserable job of hiding that. It's like, a girl of no importance stole something very minor from us. Okay, so it's really not a big deal.
That's why they sent their general.
Yeah, I know.
Mage Knights. Reference to 5?
I guess so. Because if technically you're a Mage Knight if you know magic and you're a knight.
So what are you doing now?
In the loosest sense. Alright, so we got our own little pad set up on the right side of Figaro Castle.
You have your own house?
Well, our own bed.
Nice.
And Locke is showing us to our bed. Later. I'm gonna go
just
up.
Try to avoid the, just try to cover up the camera he has set up in your room.
Ye old camera.
Ye old voyeur. Let's treasure hunter! Oh, yeah, you know, kind of like how a hacktivist is considered, you know, a fucking criminal.
Yeah. You know how it's like people, yeah, you're an environmentalist or you're an eco-terrorist. Whatever, one or the other. It doesn't really matter.
Those two are kind of different enough.
Yeah, I know.
I am not a thief. I just stole this mithril knife. That doesn't make me a thief.
I just took this without asking.
I only hunted for the treasure in that man's pockets.
Can you blame me? He probably didn't know it was there.
Uh-oh.
There's an interesting little thing here.
Oh, shit.
They kind of bring up is that they saved Terra from the Empire, and they want her to fight for them, but they don't want to force her. Otherwise, they'd be no different from the Empire. And I think Edgar himself,
that's not really any different than the Empire.
Yeah, but you see, the thing that's what I wanted to bring up is like it's really not any different than the Empire. But do you think that Terra have said no? I really don't want to do this. Do you think they'd be absolutely fine with that? It's something that Edgar himself actually points out when we get to the Returners hideout.
Well, see, here's the thing. She would have said no, and then he would have went, okay, fine, please,
yeah,
pretty please,
they just nag him.
pretty please.
Give her try to guilt trip her.
Come on, set him on fire.
Okay, you don't have to join us. Just letting you know that all the villages and people are gonna die if you don't.
I'll just have you beheaded for your crimes.
But we're not gonna do it too hard. Otherwise, we're no different than the Empire.
So in the meanwhile, Kefka set everything on fire.
Because he doesn't buy that he's not holding Terra.
Of course not.
So we're gonna leave the burning castle. Fuck yeah, chocobos.
What about the other people?
They'll be fine, I'm pretty sure. Wait, see, look, that guy's getting some excellent cardio.
Dive now?
Dive now? Oh. Something about this castle is more than meets the eye. In fact, we kind of got shades of this when we, I like to say shades a lot too. When we entered the Figaro Castle for the first time, we went to that staircase to the left, and there's this old guy there for no reason. But if you attempt to head down the stairs, he blocks you from that because that's dangerous. Heading downstairs is dangerous. But now we see the true nature of Figaro Castle. It can move.
And sink.
And it can sink.
And that's terrifying.
It can submerge into sand like some sort of sand submarine.
Oh, son of a submariner.
But of course, Kefka ain't having any of that. They got out of the castle beforehand, and now they're chasing us some Magitek armor.
Oh shit! Now we're on the band. Yeah. Whoa! You know, this is one thing about classic Final Fantasy games I never liked is how you have like little chibi sprites and they got full decked out models like this. It looks utterly weird.
I agree, but I also simultaneously like that because it really makes the enemy more imposing.
I think 7 did that just fine.
Yeah. Well, 7 also had 3D models. They can get away with that at any point.
Alright, like I said, I think later games did that just fine. But in terms of the limited sprite work, I can understand why they would do that.
Yeah. Yeah, because even if you look at the soldiers inside the tech, if they were to get out of the tech, they'd be standing like a clear 10 feet taller than the regular characters.
And Terra is distracted by some birds flying in the distance.
No, this cutscene happens should you use magic while Edgar is in the party.
Right.
He cannot believe what he just saw. After a certain point, this cutscene will no longer play. So you gotta do it now if you want to see it.
Is there any particular reason for it? Just for like...
it's because at that point everybody can use magic and nobody's impressed.
Huh.
So, if you want to see this little special cutscene now,
what a tease!
Yeah, use magic here. It's a nice little throwaway line. Meanwhile, just like wondering what the Magitek soldiers are wondering about. It's like, what are they doing?
Either they're swooning or they just got sucked into quicksand.
Noise blaster inflicts confusion.
Great on, since they're human-based enemies technically.
Yeah, I just let them do the job for me. How the hell do these shoot themselves with lasers?
You can steal too while you're at it.
Yeah, you can steal bioblasters. From Magitek armors. Either that or you win them. Either way, you can get bioblasters if you want to save a buck. But auto crossbow is the real champion of tools here this early in the game. Long range does a lot of damage, and it's pretty much it should be Edgar's only form of attack because it doesn't cost anything.
Bioblaster, well, none of his tools cost anything.
No.
Bioblaster just poisons, right? Doesn't do damage.
No, it does damage, but it does poison damage too. So it's pretty much a bio, or poison.
And there are 4 hearts here.
Now this is something that... this dialogue here happens regardless if Terra uses magic or not. Because here they are bringing up magic.
Terra just did it, and if you don't do it beforehand, they don't realize that...
They don't realize that she can use magic. I mean, there's something obviously unique about her already, but we don't know that it's necessarily magic yet. So they bring up the fact as if they already knew that. It's kind of a continuity error.
The world's finished if they get their hands on you.
Edgar was unintentionally insensitive here.
Right.
It's like, no human can use magic. Oh, you motherfucker.
Yeah, seriously, you fucking jerk off. Mode 6.
Mode 7.
7, sorry.
And 6 loves it.
No kidding.
You know, because that's how we ride chocobos. That's how we ride airships. I like it, even though everything's flat.
I like it too, except for when I gotta find a particular cave in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, that's when it really bites you in the ass. Everything's in a flat plane. It's really hard to make out what's what when you're going really fast. When you slow things down, I think it was a little easier.
Doubly so when you get your eventual spoiler airship.
Yeah. Oh, we're getting an airship in a Final Fantasy game? Oh, shit.
Hornet and Bleary.
Nothing spectacular. Blearies, I believe, have the most HP of the enemies in the Figaro cave. So
but they still go down by one round of
yeah, they don't go around. Most of the time, they don't go down with one round of auto crossbow.
You lied to me.
Wait, what?
You told me the auto crossbow was.
I'm also low level, Matt.
Oh yeah, I forgot level and strength is affected by affects tools to a degree.
Yeah, it's based off his physical stat. Because tools, I don't know why tools would be magical. It's a magic tool. Anyway, if we're talking about like old playthroughs, this is how I used to play Final Fantasy VI. Terra right now is level. I forgot. Yeah, nice little turtle. Unfortunately, we're not going to do anything with that till like 16 hours later.
Oh.
I forgot what level Terra was at right now. But the point is, her HP is at 94. That's her cap. I would play Final Fantasy VI very, very, very defensively, and I grinded a lot when I was a kid. Because the first time I played this game, 94, I was 7 years old. And my way of level grinding, because I played 4 beforehand, I knew how leveling up worked, was that I would kill Biggs and Wedge and kill all the soldiers so I gained more of the experience for Terra. After that, when she's by herself and before she needs to be rescued by Locke, I would grind those caves until her cap HP was at 160.
Damn.
Yeah. Took about an hour of grinding.
And then you realize eventually with the Esper bonuses you get later on, like, oops.
Yeah, you don't really need to. The only reason why you would do that if you were to go out of your way is that the characters that join your party, their levels are determined by the leader. So if Terra's buffed up, so will everyone else. Locke, Edgar, hell, Sabin at one point. I had Sabin come into the battle already knowing Fire Dance.
Damn.
And that is a spell you don't a blitz you're not supposed to get. It's like shit, like 10 hours into the game. Yeah, I was pretty crazy back then with grinding because hell, I was a kid. I had nothing better to do. So now we are heading to South Figaro, our first town of the game.
Rodox already with the resprites, grease bunk.
Yeah. I mean, I know Narshe was technically our first town, but we didn't really do anything except run away.
Yeah, right?
So, South Figaro is our first town. We got new enemies here. Rodoxes and Grease Mugs.
Step mine.
Grease Mugs have Step Mine when they're confused. That's the only time they do that. Step Mine is can be a powerful spell. Its damage output is determined by how many steps you walked. So the more you... So are you a cardio freak? Step Mine's gonna hurt.
There's actually been entire playthroughs of this game dedicated to see how to get the game done in the minimalist steps possible.
Yeah, low steps.
I have no fucking idea why that matters so much to you.
Hey, there are challenges for everything. Pokemon has Nuzlocke.
Nuzlocke, I can understand that challenge at least. I mean, I don't do it, but I can understand that challenge. But this just screams OCD of the highest order.
The only two challenge runs I've ever did for 6 was low level and natural magic.
Where basically Terra the only magic you get is what Terra and Celeste naturally learn as they level up?
Yeah. No, the rule was no Magicite.
Oh.
Ever. So don't equip it. So you were relegated to natural magic and skills. That didn't include... See, but that run wasn't really that hard. That run's only really hard middle to end game.
Right.
When you don't know exactly what enemies give you what. But other magics are still fair game. You can still use Guile's Rages. And you can still use Strago. If you're asking me a few Let's Plays ago, how do you get use of Strago's blue magic? Natural magic run.
Yeah, of course.
There you go. Because you're not using Magicite. Not to say that I won't be using Strago's blue magic later on down the road. We'll get into Strago later when we introduce you guys to him. He's a nice old fella. Makes me tea every morning.
Now this game... Wait. Were you near the end of the part?
No.
Okay. This game has you odd glitch in which blind does nothing.
Oh, darkness.
Yeah.
Yes.
Darkness almost does nothing in this game. It does affect one thing. Strago. If he can't see the magic being cast, he can't learn it. So make sure he's not blinded.
6 does have its share of bugs.
Oh, it's got a lot of them.
It's got a lot of them.
If you see the coding for this game, oh my shit.
It's not Final Fantasy 1 bad. It's not Generation 1 Pokemon bad. But it's right up there, folks. 6 does have its problems, as Matt was getting into. Yeah, the evade stat does nothing in this game. It's not a matter of just darkness not working. Evade stat is also busted. It doesn't do anything. So if you're going to want to increase your invasion for anything, the thing you want to increase is magic block. Right. And if that's capped at 128, nothing immortal. Besides unblockable spells will touch you.
Like what, Ultima?
Ultima, Meteor, yeah.
Merton?
Like that, yeah. Merton, yes. Yeah, again, that just goes into the argument that 6 is incredibly easy to break, and there are some things I will show off later down the road, because breaking 6 is something I intend on doing for this playthrough, because it's kind of fun.
The, whatchamacallit, this is the theme of the character Shadow, which is great, and it's also a huge interface spoiler, telling you that he's not really an Eastern ninja, considering it's completely made up of a spaghetti western.
Yeah, definitely get that vibes here.
Well, what is he hiding? We'll find out later. Until then, we just know that he's a ninja with a dog.
I had to reset a recording attempt here because I accidentally named Shadow Shadall. I was tempted to keep it, but I was like, nah, I gotta reset.
But either than me, I probably would have named them things like odd little expletives. Not expletives. Like how I had one run through of Final Fantasy VIII where Squall was just named You Dick.
Just really have a lot of fun with the names of these games.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You dick! No, my name's Richard Leonhardt.
So, it's Squall.
No, it's Richard.
So, anyway.
Green Cherry?
We are at, that cures imp status.
What's imp status in this game?
Imp status is pretty much this game's mini pig status from 4.
Uh-huh.
Lowers physical attributes. You do piss poor damage.
Unless you have
the imp equipment on. But you don't get that till a very late game.
And it's also kind of fruitless to do that regardless.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting if you always wanted a Kappa in your team. Give Gogo some purpose. Besides mimicking stuff. But, yeah, that was Shadow that we were introduced to earlier. Western Ninja.
Who would
slit his mama's throat for a nickel.
A nickel? Goddamn.
Yeah.
I imagine Shadow here in that room are going, well, fuck.
Yeah, it's like, I thought a nickel was worth a lot more. I can get that Bazooka Joe gum. Alright, so the items here on the outside of South Figaro, these are items that change if you grab them later down the road. I figure not because I'm not going to need them later. But we're talking about, the stuff that I fight outside. Warp stones, the tonics, they could become remedies, X potions, all that later down the road.
I would totally have done that, but...
Yeah. But at that point, by the time you're able to do that, you have Tier 2 and Tier 3 magic. So it doesn't really matter to me.
Unless you're doing a natural magic run.
Yeah, unless you're doing a challenge run, in any case, that will be beneficial to you. You just gotta know what items are what at different points in time. In fact, you guys noticed through our Trek of Figaro Cave, north of this town, I ignored all the treasure chests.
Right.
Because those change into different items when you go to a different time.
And they're pretty fucking sweet.
Yeah, they're pretty sweet indeed. That guy's blocking the right way. What a dick.
Well, that's one of those dickhead mechanics I don't like.
What? Just blocking something? Just standing there?
No, well, that. There's also the, whole, ignore this item now and it becomes better later. It reminds me of the loot system in 12 in a way.
It's something you only know in hindsight.
It's only something you know with a fucking guide.
Yeah. And I didn't know about, just to rub it further in, I didn't know about some of these things until, further playthroughs. It was my uncle that told me, Figaro Cave, don't open this chest now. It'll be a Thunder Rod later. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, but what would I need it for? Tunnel armor. Well, I could be tunnel armor just normally. Yeah, but you haven't be tunnel armor with a Thunder Rod. Okay. It's like, I believe you.
Whoopsie.
So the thing we're doing here for Figaro Castle, first town, obviously it's the first town. We gotta explore the shit out of it, and there are a lot of things to find.
Steal everything not implanted in the game's coding.
We're the king. We can do what we want. That's my soft now. That's the king soft now. Drop the king soft.
Gee, why don't you rename him Simba?
Everything the light touches is my property. Yeah, a lot of places to explore in Figaro. Quite a hefty town, first town. Compared to Final Fantasy IV, where we had Baron. That was fine, but you really only looked at the weapon and item shop there. Figaro, though, there are a lot of places to see. A lot of things to collect too.
Quite a big world. Quite a big world.
Quite a big world. Quite active too. Lots of NPCs to talk to. This guy right here looks like he's writing a letter to someone. Attack from the east? What the hell is he talking about? Oh, those millionaires and those incomprehensible letters.
No, it's just a higher society. We're not meant to understand it.
Maybe, maybe not. Hopefully it doesn't bite us in the ass later on.
Anything down here?
This is the basement of the mansion, and here's something I didn't know for a long time. There's a secret basement here. You get a hyper wrist and running shoes. Equip those are relics, gives you haste.
Nice.
I'm going to give those to Edgar. Not Edgar, I'm going to give it to Locke. No, who am I giving it to? Fuck it, I just recorded this game last week.
You just gave him 4 pairs of shoes.
Damn right. 2 on his hands. He's a spider thief. Fuck yeah.
But now he can't steal.
Yeah. Gonna have to use my teeth.
Oh, God.
Yeah. These are all places we're going to be revisiting later down the road, but we can get them here now if you know what they are. Because this is a secret area that, if you talk to the girl in the second floor, she mentions of a draft. It's like, there's an awful draft coming. I wonder where it's coming from. That's pretty much your only hint to saying that.
From the fucking jail?
Yeah. There's I don't know why there's a dungeon here. but
probably there, and they couldn't renovate over it quick enough.
Maybe they're into that kind of shit, They're millionaires. I'm not going to say anything.
Hey, baby, how about a millionaire's conjugal?
Sure, as soon as I look up what conjugal means. But yeah, if you got a keen eye for exploration, you want to check every single pixel possible, you'll be rewarded with a lot of things in Figaro Castle. Hyper risk increases your vigor.
Which is your strength?
Which is your physical strength. So it increases your attack power when you choose fight. Running shoes again gives you haste. Really nice this early in the game.
Fucking sweet.
Yeah. So we got through a second entrance there. Nice little shortcut.
Where are we supposed to go, by the way?
We're supposed to head to Mount Colts next. I'm just really exploring everything in Figaro Castle because it's pretty much the only time I'm gonna do this. But we have 2 more places.
Try.
Yeah, our stock went down after this asshole came in here. Who is it? It's King Edgar. Fuck it, we can't do anything about it. So anyway, we got access to...
Now you just gave me this image of Edgar being the asshole who blackmails everybody.
And steals.
You have a nice building here. It'd be a shame if the king closed it down.
You're a worse thief than Locke. That's Treasure Hunter.
You're a fucking thief. Now, but what should we call it? I think this game, along with 9, has hidden level up bonuses on some of these weapons. Where if you were to level up with the weapon equipped, you gain a level up point to a particular stat.
Not so much stats, magic. There are some skills you can learn via weapons. You can get...
No, I'm pretty sure they're stats.
I'm pretty sure that was only for Magitek. I could look it up later down the road. I've only remember with swords and weapons in particular, some shields can teach you spells.
Right.
At like abysmal learning rates, but it is possible.
To the point where you may as well equip the fucking Esper.
Yeah, get the Magitek.
See you guys in part 3, where we hopefully have the Magitek.